Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next YouTube video. This one was actually a suggestion from Scorpion Joker on YouTube who suggested I do this. And what it's going to be is basically a kind of Korra award show style thing. There'll be a few awards up for grabs basically, and I'm just going to kind of present it as an award show thing. I have kind of things to read out and I'll just go through them. I will say that these are just my answers to the awards. If you want to join in, by all means, post in the comments below with your own answer to the awards. I'll actually put up the list right now of all 13 awards, so you can kind of get ahead on that, and maybe as I'm going through, you can type out your comments and stuff like that, maybe. But just so you know, it's there. So I'm going to start now. Hello and welcome Avatar fans to the first ever Book 1 Air Legend of Korra Awards. I'm your Master of Ceremonies, Morgan Airspeed Prime, site super moderator from Avatar The Last Airbender Online. Should keep an eye out because last night Avatar The Last Airbender Online swept the awards at the fan site awards, winning best fan site. I won best administrator. But anyway, let's get into the awards that we have for tonight, and that is that we have 13 different awards to give out to Korra. And basically that means there are 13 Golden Lotus tiles up for grabs tonight, and this is the most prestigious prize in Avatar entertainment, and everyone is here tonight basically wanting to win these awards. So let's get down to that after a message from our sponsors. Definitely try out the Cabbage Corpse cabbage soup. It's the best soup ever because it'll make you scream, my cabbages. But anyway, back to the awards, and I'm just going to start out with the award for Best Avatar The Last Airbender Reference. And basically what this award is for an episode of Korra, or it's a moment in Korra basically, that was a really good reference to the previous show, Avatar The Last Airbender. There were multiple ones in the show, but we'll now reveal our winner. Let's see, our winner is K101 Ursa Trolling, basically. And this is the scene in episode 1 of The Legend of Korra, Welcome to Republic City, where Tenza's family arrive at the Southern Water Tribe, and Jinora asks Katara about what happened to Zuko's mom, and she's about to tell the story of what happened before Ikki jumps in and is all like, "You're old," and stuff like this. So it was just this great reference to the biggest question from Avatar The Last Airbender, and it definitely was the best reference for me because it wasn't just a reference to Avatar The Last Airbender, it was a kind of trolly reference to the fandom as well, because this is the question we've been asking about for years. So there's the first one. Definitely post in the comments below what your answers to these awards are. The next one is Funniest Moment from Avatar, from Korra. So this one's very self-explanatory. It's basically the scene where the funniest moment in the show happened, in your opinion, basically. For me, that moment was this. Shiro Shinobi continues to commentate even as the Equalists basically come into the commentary booth and shock him. And we get the amazing line along with this, "I'm currently wetting my pants." It's just this dedication to the job that he's basically commentating on this terrorist attack on the pro bending arena. It was just absolutely perfectly done. That is the funniest moment. Shiro Shinobi gets the Golden Lotus Tile award for that. Next award is Most Emotional Moment. And again, a fairly self-explanatory one. This is the award for the scene in Korra that was the most emotional, that you yourself felt the most emotions when watching. And that could be whether that be a sad scene, a powerful scene, epic scene, or something like that. But for me, it's very simple. It's Lin's sacrifice in K110, Turning the Tides. This is just that whole kind of section near the end of that episode where the Sky Bison Oogie's not going to get away with Tenzin and his family, and Lin kind of looks at them, then to the airship, and just jumps, sacrificing herself to let the last remaining airbenders get away. Add to this the fact that, you know, Tenzin kind of broke up with Lin to get with Pema, and the fact that she's still willing to sacrifice herself. It's just this really, really powerful scene. And then, especially what happens, she just goes all epic metal bender on the airship and takes one down and damages the other one enough that it can't pursue. And then, especially that moment at the end, she has a chance to keep her bending, and again, she just stays strong and just doesn't like give Tenzin and his family away. That was just an amazing moment. They played it like a death scene at the end when she got her bending taken away, and it was just that powerful. So Lin Beifong gets the most emotional moment for the end scene and turning the tides. Our fourth award is Most Shocking Moment. Now this award is basically for the scene in Korra that was just the most shocking to you, the thing that you least expected to happen ever in the show. And for me, this one's a kind of combination of two scenes, but they're very much linked. And that is the two Amon reveals, and it's the first one, that the fact that he can resist bloodbending in the first place, and then the reveal that he's Tarlok's brother, which adds to that scene, and that Amon just takes away his brother's bending. So like, those two kind of scenes are very much linked in that whole Amon end reveal sort of stuff, in that was just a big shocking moment, because no one could resist bloodbending that we know of, apart from like fighting through a grip. But just to see Tarlok, who could take down Korra, attempting to bloodbend Amon, and him just walking through it with just a tiny bit of like resistance, with just a tiny bit of like being hindered by it basically. That was just a real shocking moment for me, because that started the whole speculation of like, oh my god, is Amon a robot? Is he a spirit being or something like that? Is he a crazy weird bender or something like that? It was just this moment that just shocked me, definitely, that like I had an idea of what was going to happen in the series, and then this moment happens out of nowhere. You know, just Amon arrives, takes Tark's bending, and suddenly he's gone out of the series as a villain basically. It was just a shocking moment. That was the definition of a shocking moment for me. Our next one is Best Quote, and basically another very simple one. The best quote, best line in the series, whether that be funny, epic, or just random. And my answer is this one. It's from Gamu, who is basically the vagabond that's in the bushes in like the first episode. So the line is from K111, Skeletons in the Closet, and it's this. Gamu says to them, good fortune and success, I'll read that again. Good fortune and success to you, valiant heroes. And why I really like this line is that we kind of didn't really get to know Gamu that much, but we sort of knew that he had a very good vocabulary. And then for him to just be such a nice guy, taking in Korra and her friends, and then to just like let them off, get them away with this amazing line that is just like poetry. Valiant heroes, good fortune and success to you. It was just out of nowhere and just brilliant from this really random character who's kind of like the Avatar equivalent of the Cabbage Merchant in a way. Gamu. It was it's definitely my favourite quote from the series. It was funny. Next award is Best Location. And what this one's for is basically it's the best like area in the show, and it can be like given for multiple reasons, whether that be some of the best stuff in the series happened there, it's just a location that looks really nice, well designed, or just has like an emotional, I suppose, attachment to you. And for me, my best Korra location was the Pro Bending Arena. The Pro Bending Arena for me wins because I think Pro Bending was one of the biggest surprises in Korra to me, with how much I liked it, how much that arena, that area just added to it. It made it really feel like this sports arena. It wasn't just a bending fight that happened to happen indoors. It was this whole sport. It was a pro bending match, and it was in this amazing arena with the crowd just all around the arena, the water, the arena on platforms with like different platforms in it, the color of the arena, the different areas, the ropes. It just perfectly fit the pro bending kind of thing, and it was a really nicely designed area, and it basically made the first half of the season have this extra thing, pro bending, that the second half didn't have, and it was very interesting. It was all made by the how good this pro bending arena was. It was the This was like the fortress of bending in Republic City. Like, this was where everyone went to celebrate bending, and then Amon arrives in, ruins it, which also made for another great moment in the series. Take a break here to go back to our sponsors, and this ad is from the Flamios, and they are now celebrating their 70th anniversary of being together as a band. They've just released a new record, and it includes their smash hit first ever song, and that is basically, everyone's calling it the Katango, because this was pretty much the first dance that Aang and Katara had 70 years ago, and they played the music, the Flamios. It was great. And they're also celebrating their newest song, which is Flame On You Flamios. So definitely check out that album when it comes out in Republic City in just a few weeks' time. Now we'll move on to the second half of our award ceremony with Best Technology. Now, the reason this is an award is because Korra is very interesting in terms of Avatar, because there was a huge leap in technology. So we're going to see a lot of new technology in the show from Avatar that wasn't in Avatar The Last Airbender. And this award, I think, is necessary for Korra because it played such a crucial role in the story, with technology being the way the Equalists could take on benders. And for me, the winner has to be the Equalist shock electricity gloves, because these were just the most simple idea ever for a weapon to perfectly take on benders, basically. It wasn't this huge machine or anything like that. It was just something you put on your hand, you touch a bender, they're pretty much knocked out. You're going to injure them in some way. And it was just a simple idea that could be mass produced, that really gave Amon the advantage in the beginning. And it also gave characters like Asami a way to take on benders more easily. And it was just the perfect kind of piece of technology for the Equalists to have that won them the war kind of in the beginning. So best technology goes to the Equalist shock gloves, as invented by Hiroshi Sato, I assume. Next, we move on to, we're getting into the really, really big ones. I've organised these kind of in a way that, like, the most important awards are last. So, best fight. This is an award because the fights, the martial arts, the bending, stuff like that, is one of the most important parts of Avatar, I think, for everyone, because that was kind of what drew you in the first place. It was the bending, the awesome fights, and you stay for the characterization and stuff like that. And in Korra, we definitely had a lot of different type of fights. We had pro-bending fights, we had a few bender-on-bender fights, we had bender-on-non-bender fights, and stuff like that. So this was definitely an interesting award to see like what it goes for. And for me, the best fight in Korra, Book 1, was Korra versus Tarlok in K108, When Extremes Meet. This was a good fight, I think, because it was kind of the first big bender-on-bender fight in the series. This was Korra, the Avatar, up against the Northern Water Tribe Councilman Tarlok. These were two big, powerful benders, and especially with the way the kind of episode set up, then the two of them clashing against each other, this ended up being the most violent fight in Avatar history, I think. Even more so than the Aang Ozai fight. This was just violent in terms of, like, every move was pretty much to kill, and if not for the skill of both combatants, they would have been dead, basically. You know, Tarlok just went to absolutely destroy Korra with the kind of ice needles, cuts her on the face a few times and the arms a few times, and then Korra just goes crazy with the earthbending later on in the fight, and is just blowing up like levels of this council chamber. And like moving whole walls to crush Tarlock, and then like she like sends him flying onto the bottom level, jumps down, like explodes the ground. It was crazy. And then the fight to end with that big reveal of Tarlock being a bloodbender. That is an amazing fight. You have an amazing fight coupled with a good massive reveal, and that makes for the best fight in Korra, in my opinion. Tarlock vs. Korra in K108 when extremes meet. Now, this is one of the biggest awards I think we have here. Best episode of Korra. There are only 12. It's very self-explanatory, the episode that was the best. And there are a lot of good episodes. I think when you definitely look back at the series, you think like, wait, that was good, that was good, that was really good, that was excellent. And there aren't really any like bad episodes of Korra. So this one was definitely a tough one to choose, but for me it has to be K108 when extremes meet. Now, the reason this is my favourite episode is because I think it's mainly because of the Korra Tarlock like stuff. Not just the fight, but the lead up to that. Because since she wasn't going to join his task force again, the two were pitted against each other. This episode sees the basically introduction of Team Avatar when they form together as a group, and see them basically going out doing the Team Avatar thing. And in doing that, they go directly up against Tarlock's task force and pits Korra and Tarlock against each other. And Korra and her crew basically get to the first crime first. They get in the papers, and that annoys Tarlock to no end. So the next time something happens, he's there. He's responsible for it. It's the whole curfew thing, and Korra cannot do a thing. That's the thing, because the media is in play now. The two can't be seen to basically kill each other in front of the media, or they will be vilified. And that was just amazing. Like, Tarlock couldn't do anything when Korra and her friends were in front of the camera, even though he wanted to. And then Korra, who was just absolutely crazy about what Tarlock did to the people, like he was completely oppressing them, using his bending to oppress non-benders. Curfew, no power, no electricity after a certain time. They couldn't move past a certain space, and then like metal bending them into a group and lifting them into the air. That is just crazy. And Korra nearly loses it. She's about to attack Tarlock in front of the cameras, but she realizes this isn't the place to do it. Then he arrests her friends in front of her, and she can't do anything. And he just sets up this antagonistic relationship between the two of them in this episode that just gets crazier and crazier as it goes on, until it finally flares up in that room. The talk they have before the fight is amazing, with Tarlock comparing Korra to be just as bad as like everyone oppressing people with her bending. And then when she compares him to a Mon, that is the breaking point for him. He just cannot accept that, even though it's true. And the fight happens. It's amazing. Some huge things happen in that episode. It has that emotional connection. One of the best scenes in it is when she arrives at this kind of scene when Tarlock's oppressing these people, and this mother and her kind of family there, she says like, you're our avatar too, not just the bender's avatar, but the avatar for the non-benders, and that hits Korra hard. That was great. K108 wins the Best Episode award. Next we come to Best Character Development. This is the award basically for the character who, when introduced, had like issues, I suppose, had things they needed to change, and over the course of the season changed them enough that they had good development. And for me, the character who had the best development was Korra. Now, this is not anything against the other characters, but I think Korra had the most development and was definitely the focus of book one. Because when we're introduced to her, she's an amazing fighter, she's an amazing physical avatar, but she has no spiritual side. She really rushes headlong into things, is too eager to fight. And over the course of the season, as she's beaten by a Mon in episode 4, she really learns to kind of calm things down. She's a bit too eager to kind of keep her feelings to herself in some of the early episodes, and then she learns to kind of just say her feelings and learns to really kind of pick her fights. She's still quite aggressive at the end, but she's not the insane level of just, I'm going to attack now, as before. And I think one of the big moments that shows this is when she escapes from kind of Tarlok's prison after Amon arrives. She's clever enough not to just, like, stay there. She realizes that, oh, I'm going to be electrocuted, so if I do this, she'd never think of that before, using her kind of one of her arm guard things to hover in the air and not get electrocuted. She would have never thought of that in the early episodes. And then when she has a chance to fight him on, instead of fighting him and losing like she would usually do because of her pride, she just runs the airbender way. She's learning the airbender way over the course of the series. And definitely just she learns to be very selfless in like the latter episodes, when she has no bending and is still willing to fight for Mako to save him. And that was great. That's what unlocked her airbending. She still has a long way to go, but I think her development in book 1 was excellent. It was really good and definitely deserving of the Best Character Award. We come to our third last award, and that is Best Minor Character. Now, it's kind of hard to specifically kind of classify what exactly is a minor character, but for me, it's a character who appears in about less than a quarter of the episodes of whatever season you're talking about. And since this is only 12 episodes, that's most likely a character who appears in less than 3. And or something like that. It took 3-4 episodes, a character who's not a main character and has a few lines. And for me, the winner is Shiro Shinobi. And the reason I say this is because he makes pro bending what it is. Pro bending would not be the same without the commentary from Shiro Shinobi. He ends up having a lot of lines for only a short period of time on screen. He only appears in a few episodes whenever pro bending happens, but he has a lot of lines and is responsible at least 50% for how good pro bending is, with his amazing commentary and stuff like that. As I said, he won the Funniest Moment award. He has some great quotes. That Mako's got Moxie. The kind of the brothers from the School of Hard Knocks. It's great commentary and great voice acting work. So Shiro Shinobi wins my Best Minor Character award in what was a pretty kind of tough category, because you have characters like General Iroh, you have Gamu and stuff like that, all who could have won that award. So that's great. Second last award is arguably the biggest award, and that is the Best Main Character award. And for me, Best Main Character, who appears in nearly every episode all the time, is the main character of the show, Korra. Now, the reason I say this is because I always have a tendency to choose the main character of everything for the favourite character. And I think it always depends on how good the show does that. Aang is my favourite Avatar The Last Airbender character, and Korra is my favourite Korra character, because Avatar, it shows, do their main characters well. Going into Korra, they didn't do the thing that I think a lot of people were kind of bigging up in the media, like some of those big media sites, that, oh wow, look at this, Avatar's going for a female main character. But the thing is, the show never went crazy about that. Mike and Brian never went crazy about the fact that, hey, look at this, we're doing a female character. They just went, hey, yeah, our main character is a female, so what? Katara was just the main character in Avatar The Last Airbender. So that was great. They didn't make a big deal out of the fact that she was a girl, because in the end, stuff like that doesn't matter. Like, they just said she was the next Avatar, and it worked so well. Her journey throughout the season was great as a disgusting character development, and as a character, she's just really a fun character. You know, she's eager to prove herself, a very different Avatar to Aang, but it worked because while Aang was the reluctant Avatar, she is the complete opposite of that. She wants to prove herself now, and that worked for me so well for her character. So that is the Best Main Character. The final award, I don't have a kind of a thing for it, but it's basically the award for the most, I suppose, surprising thing from Korra. The thing I least expected going into the show, that I kind of came out going, wow, that was really, really good. And the reason I don't have a thing for this is because there's no real way to write down my answer, and that is just that for me the most surprising thing from Korra was the importance of Avatar: The Last Airbender characters to the core plot, in that it was the way Aang dealt with Yukon that led into Korra getting Amon and Tarlok as kind of villains in her time. The way that because of what happened with Aang, Yukon was out for revenge, and then Korra had to deal with that revenge coming through his two sons. The way that psychic bloodbending carried on from Aang's time into Korra's time, the way that end reveals was just amazing. The way bloodbending was just a Tarlok thing, and then Amon is confirmed to have it, and then you get the backstory and it links into Yukon. The whole Amon, Tarlok, bloodbending Yukon thing was just this amazing plot that, looking at the start, you could never have seen it coming. But when you look back on the series, there are these little hints that, wait, that's right there. It's kind of Korra's visions were actually warning her about the fact that Yukon, in a way, is attacking the city again through his kids, and that's what I loved. The way that this added that kind of backstory plot added so much complexity to the story, and I loved it for that. So that has been the 13 awards I chose. Definitely in the comments below, tell me what your awards are. Do you agree with mine? Do you disagree with mine? Tell me all of them. If this is popular enough and people want it, I will do an Avatar: The Last Airbender version of this thing. Are there any awards you want me to add? Are there any awards you want me to take out? Or stuff like that? Comment below with all of that stuff. What do you want me to do differently or anything like that? Please tell me. Finally, I will say that we have done something like this before on the Avatar Online podcast. We did it very differently in that there were way more awards, and we did it through the site avatarthelastairbender.online.com. What we did was that, kind of after Korra aired, we left it a week for people to kind of catch up with everything, and then we opened up voting. And there were I think 24 awards, and basically everyone voted. Anyone who was on the site could vote for them. They just listed the 24 awards and gave their answers. After about 2-3 weeks, I added up all the votes, worked out who won, and then we did a podcast on it. And it was a long-ish podcast, but it was one of our best podcasts we've ever done, in that it was a complete award show. We had over 100 votes, so the winner was definitely the winner of these awards. So definitely check that out. I'll have a link to that podcast in the description, and so if you want more kind of Korra award style things, check that show out. I'm the main host on that podcast, host that episode. Joining me on that episode was Callum, who's Badgerman1, and Rich, OG Soccer from the site. So thank you for watching this video. Again, comment below with your own thoughts on these awards. If you like this type of video, if you want that Avatar: The Last Airbender version, any awards you want added, taken out, everything, just comment below if you can. Thank you for watching, and bye.